Hello, good Saturday afternoon, everyone. Do you like my pink background? Yes, that's my pink background. This is another one of my faceless videos. Today is Saturday. It is the 16th of November, 2019. And just wanted to come on and say hello, give a quick shout out to everybody. I've been listening to a lot of videos about love and relationships and how to prepare and necessity versus preference and essential things that you must have in a mate as opposed to things you would like to have but can live without. And I was listening to a pastor this morning, and he was talking about the importance of distinguishing the difference between a must-have and something that you'd like to have. And I just want to encourage those of you who are on a journey of healing, on a journey of self-love, on a journey of discovering who you really are, becoming single in your heart. You can be single as far as not having a person in your life, but if you still have soul ties or an emotional attachment to someone who is an ex who you are no longer in relationship with, you need to get single. You need to get that person out of your heart and out of your mind. And I'll be a little transparent at this moment. Over the past couple of weeks, in the line of work that I do, I deal with the public. I schedule donation appointments. And you have to gather information, demographic information, like their names, address, telephone number, quantity of items donated, so on and so forth. And as I was working, I came across a couple of common names, a first name that's common and a last name that's common. And it was the name of a former interest of mine. Nothing ever became of the relationship, but it was a former interest. And I came across this name a few times. The thing that's funny about these names are common, both of them, the first and last names. But I'll go through seasons where I don't see those names at all. And then all of a sudden, it's like I'm seeing these names back to back. I'm like, wait a minute. And I have to say, after seeing those names, I started really looking at myself and asking myself, did I really get over that? Is that person really out of my spirit? If I were to see that person, what would my response be? You know? And that's one of the things that this pastor was speaking about as well. The man I listened to today, he was talking about really being available, being single. You can't be available for what God wants to give you if there's someone else who's occupying your heart or your mindset, or, you know, that space where a person would where you would receive or love a person. You've got to really be single. And again, because I kept seeing that name, the first and last name, popping up at work, it just made me really delve a little more deeply within my own heart, my own will, my own emotions, and really just do some digging. And, you know, just asking God to really remove the stench, the trace, and the residue of attraction or expectation or feeling or whatever it was that was there for this particular person. One thing I do not want to do is waste time being caught up in a thought process that prevents me from being available for what God wants me to have. This kind of conversation is not necessarily easy to have, but I say, you know, with transparency, sometimes you get your own level of healing, and sometimes you can bless someone else who's kind of on the same journey that you're on. So, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. Just, you know, get single in your heart and your mind and your emotions. Be honest about where you are. And if there's something in you that feels that something's not over, if you feel that a connection is not over and you don't have what we call closure, make sure that there's really the Lord leading you in that connection, and it's not the trick of the enemy. Because this very same pastor that I was listening to today, some other video that I played of his earlier this week, he was talking about the fact that sometimes the trick of the enemy is to make you feel that you can't move on without official closure. But that, again, is the enemy's trick, because what it's designed to do is to keep you preoccupied with something that will never manifest. Don't get caught up in that. You know, don't get caught up in waiting for something that may never happen. You may never have the opportunity to officially bring closure to either a previous relationship or what you thought was going to become a relationship. Don't let that stop you, you know, and be emotionally honest. Like, you know, some people are wounded, they're hurt, they're harsh, they're mean, they're intolerant of other people's weaknesses or growth opportunities, or their first thing to say when something goes awry is next. Like, you know, when you've been rejected by someone and they show no interest in you, it's easy to just take that harsh reactionary mindset and say, you know what, I don't need this, I'm moving on. Be honest about it, though. There are people who I've heard speak about having to humble themselves in order to be with the one they really want to be with. You know, they first took that mindset of whatever, but when they really started thinking about their lives without that person, they realized, you know, I really don't want to do life without this person. So they humbled themselves, went and spoke to the person about it, apologized, and got connected and reconnected and got married. There's a preacher, I don't use names a lot of times, just because I'm not here to promote somebody else's ministry per se. You know, if I feel led to share a name, then I will. But there's this preacher who's pretty well known, and that was his testimony. When he was dating the woman he is now married to, it got to a point where, you know, they were about to break up, or they had broken up. And then he called her, because after having that time away from her, he realized he did not want to do life without her. And when he called her, she was very professional. Yes, may I help you? In other words, you know, you are not going to pull me into this little game you want to play. You are not going to persuade me to give up my must-haves. She wouldn't compromise. He told her he was wrong. He apologized. He told her he loved her, that he didn't want to do life without her. And she received his apology, and they got married. And this has got to be at least 20 some odd years ago that they got married. So just wanted to share that, you know. We need to learn how to be real and be honest. Some people you need to be guarded with until you gather the information you need to gather. You don't want to get caught up in having an emotional attachment that is so strong that it supersedes your ability to exercise wisdom. You don't want to have a list of must-haves, but find yourself compromising with that list of must-haves because your emotional attachment to a person developed at a rate and to a degree that was premature. And it's premature if it happens before you gather the proper data. You need to gather the data that you need. You know, you need to find out what kind of person this is who you have an attraction to, or who's expressing an interest in you. Does this person share the same values that you share? Does this person believe that boundaries should be where you believe they should be? There are people who believe that they can operate a certain way with the opposite sex, and for them it's fine, but for you it would be inappropriate. Do you all agree on those things? Is God first and foremost the most important relationship that they have? Is it for you? You have to really dig deeply, and don't allow yourself, like I said, to get caught up in growing an emotional attachment to someone before you do your homework. That is imperative. Alrighty, so I'm going to end this video. I'm on this journey of just learning how to do self-inventory, learning how to relax and really pour back into myself, learning how to take that me time that I need and just enjoy the simple things in life. I'll give you an example and then I'll go. I was at work today. We had a little group of young people come in and do some community service where they helped us at my job. And I don't normally work on a Saturday unless there's something special like this that comes up. But before they got there, there was this pillow that I just loved it. It looked like a fluffy poodle. And I mean, something like that, it may not be a big deal to one person, but to me, it was so soothing and so calming and so comforting to me. I actually put it in my workspace area on the extra chair that's in there, just because it's what I call eye candy. It's fluffy, it's pretty, it just made me happy. Little things like that. Just take the time to enjoy your life. Even yesterday when I came in from work, I was tired. I wanted to watch TV. I wanted to play games on my phone, but I was like, you know what? This is that very same level of busyness that I had just been speaking to my coworker about. Sometimes we fill our lives with things and we're just so busy. We're just busy going from one thing to the next. We don't have any downtime. And it's in the downtime that you can really do your self-inventory and find out, am I really single in my heart and in my emotions? Is there still a stench, trace, or residue of someone from my past that needs to be uprooted? You know, is there a soul tie that needs to be renounced? If you're watching TV and playing games on your phone and just going from one thing to the next and then crashing at the end of the day, when do you have time to really do the self-inventory? You really don't. And I lived my life like that for a while. Like I would just be busy. And I'm like, you know, I'm cheating myself out of enjoyment. So even when the weekend would come around, because I was so busy all the time, I didn't really enjoy the weekend the way I could have. I have become more intentional about getting back to me time. And I have to say, I'm becoming I'm getting back to that really peaceful, calm, tranquil person that I used to always be. Instead of feeling like I just have to keep moving, just being intentional about slowing down. Can I tell you something? It feels so good to do that. It feels so good to do that. There's a time when you need to be in speed mode. There's a time for all of that. But you don't need to live that way all the time. Like, you need to give yourself some downtime. Just relax, relate, release. You know, that's a part of self-care. And I dare say, when you slow down, you can really see what's around you. You can discern what's around you. Sometimes you move too quickly and you miss it. You don't need to miss it. All right? So that's it. I'm signing off. Hope you have a great day. Take some time to just enjoy something that you enjoy, you know, and just love yourself. Because I tell you something, you will attract what you are. And if you have spent time getting to know yourself, becoming single, healing, becoming whole, and really knowing how to treat yourself, you will attract that kind of person. If you're broken on the inside, you will attract that kind of person. So, you know, I'm on my journey. I say, if you haven't begun your journey, it's time to begin the journey of self-discovery and self-love. All right. So that's it. I'm going to end this video. Hope you all have a great day and enjoy your weekend and do something splendid and fun. Bye-bye.